Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tech Time with Lucas and David.
Hey guys,
Uh,
what's up?
yeah, so we got a awesome episode for you guys tonight. So let's get to it. We're gonna talk about apps of the week first. So I guess we'll start out with mine.
Yep.
Okay, so this is my first app of the year for the app of the week. What I'm gonna be talking about today is probably one of the most useful apps for an Android phone. This is only on Android. It's not for Apple. You may have heard of it. It's called Google Opinion Rewards. And basically, what this app will do is it will give you a survey to fill out. This is an anonymous survey. It'll they at the most maybe a minute and a half. It doesn't take that long. And for and when you complete the survey, it will give you a credit to use in the Google Play Store. So that's pretty cool. I've already accumulated like $4 that I can use to buy music, movies, and apps all from the Google Play Store. So
Wow.
it's like the perfect app. I love it. I mean, I just wish that surveys came more often. I haven't got a survey in like the last 3 weeks, but if you turn on your location, the Google will track where you go and it'll give you surveys based on where you've been. But again, it's anonymous, so it's completely safe. It's with Google. So yeah, that's my app.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so my app of the week um is basically something that like it's a solution to a problem I've had for a while. And here's the thing. So basically I take a lot of video on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not really a good way to color grade that video. So what ended up happening was
What do
I
you
would
mean?
take okay, so what I mean is like I would take a video on my phone, okay? And I have an iPhone, I have the iMovie app, everything's, fine and dandy.
Okay.
But the problem that I had was that if I wanted to change the colors or the exposure or maybe apply like some filters to it, there was no app to do so.
Yeah.
Even though I have iMovie on my phone, iMovie just lets you basically, you know, cut the app, cut the videos. There's a couple cheap filters that aren't really that nice, but there's no like saturation control or any of that stuff.
Really?
Really, you can't control like contrast, exposure, saturation, brightness, highlight, shadows, none of that. This app basically lets you do some of those things. So I can control saturation, I can control like brightness and stuff like that. It's just really like useful, and I'm surprised that they don't have this in the iMovie app built in to begin with. It's called Chromic. I don't even think I've mentioned the name of it yet, but yeah, it's called Chromic. Should have mentioned that earlier, and it's pretty cool because like how many times have you want to you have a really nice outdoor shot, maybe you want to make it look a little bit more cinematic. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm in the app right now. I'm going to tell you all the things you can control:
Okay.
contrast, saturation. So contrast can make, if you up the contrast, makes things a little bit more dramatic, cinematic, whatever.
Yeah.
Saturation, so how intense the colors are, or non-intense the colors are. Vibrance, which is basically like saturation. It's just kind of like a little bit less harsh, so you can saturation. If you put that all the way up, it's really like really ugly. If you
Mm-hmm.
put vibrance all the way up, it's not that bad. So it's basically just like a weaker saturation control. Then they have hue, and what hue is basically the color of everything. So you can make everything like blue or pink or red or whatever you want. Then they
Okay.
have color temperature. So if I want to make things more cool, more warm, that's really good when you're doing video work. If you're trying to make like a little short film on your phone, that's really helpful. Um, so you can adjust shadows and highlights, which are like super useful. That's really cool. You can sharpen the video or blur it
Wow.
slightly. And then you can obviously straighten it as well. So if your video is a little bit tilted, or let's say maybe you have like a horizon line that's not perfectly straight, you can fix that. So those are all the things you can do, and you can even purchase additional like filters and different packs and stuff, which is really good. Um, I just like it a lot.
So you can get the clip that you recorded on your phone, then edit some of the clips that you want in this app, right, to get the proper lighting, right, or the right color that you want, and then you throw it into iMovie and create your movie.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, if you have both of these apps installed, you have like the perfect editing suite for your computer. I mean, for your phone. That makes it almost like what you do in a computer. And the thing that's useful about this is, now that our phones take such high quality video and they have apps that can edit it very well, um, it allows us to, have even more flexibility, even more control, because color grading is a really big part of video. Now that we can do that, it just makes it even better. It completes everything, and the app is free. You can pay for some of the stuff in the app, but the overall app is free, at least at the time that I downloaded it, which was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, it's
So
free?
I imagine it's still free, yes, because it was free when I got it. Let me
Wow.
double check right now. I'm just
What's it
going to
called
search
again?
it up. Chromic, Chromic. And I don't think it's available for Android, unfortunately. Yeah, the app is free. You can buy some filters, but honestly, all the things that I mentioned in this video you can do right off the bat. You don't even have to update it. And a lot of the filters that you would download, you can basically create them yourself with these presets, and you have more flexibility over them anyway. So I don't really think it's a big deal that you can pay for some of that stuff, because I think the better features are to be able to do it all yourself anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically all there is for that. And the next thing is kind of funny, the next story. So,
Okay.
Beyonce, okay? Beyonce was at the Super Bowl, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about the Super Bowl for me, guys. I basically only watch it for the halftime, okay? Lucas over here, he'll watch the football part of it. He doesn't care about halftime. I only care about the halftime. I basically hate all sports.
And
Lucas
I
really
love all
likes...
sports.
What?
I love all sports.
Yes, me. This is why our friendship is so great. See, because I hate all sports and Lucas loves all sports. But you know what? It still works. Okay, it still works. Yeah. So basically, Beyonce performed at the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Okay, she is amazing. I love her so much. Okay, Beyonce is my life. I love her so much. Her performance was amazing. I have no complaints. Okay? Let's just get that out there. In
Okay.
terms of what she did when she was performing for the Super Bowl, obviously she doesn't live where the Super Bowl was held in San Francisco. She doesn't live there. So she had to stay somewhere. What does she do, Lucas? Well,
What did
she
she do?
stayed in an Airbnb, which, if you guys don't know, Airbnb is a service where people can rent out their homes or condos or wherever they're living. They can rent that out if they're not staying there to other people, so they can stay with them. Or so they can stay there while the person's gone or whatever, because I don't think I can rent out like my house if I'm still living here. So let's say I'm on vacation for like a month. I can rent out my house for a month and people can stay there, whatever. So, this Airbnb Beyonce stayed in was super nice. It was this huge mansion. It was, guess how much it is a night?
I honestly have no clue.
It was 10 grand a night.
10 grand a night.
10 grand a night.
So what? She stayed there 2 nights? 3
Probably
nights?
maybe a night, 2 nights, who knows? Either way, who cares? 10 grand for these people is nothing. Hey, the Super Bowl probably even paid for it anyways. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, so she stayed in a $10,000 Airbnb, which I thought was kind of funny because, what are you think of these superstars, you think they're going to be staying in these super high-end hotels and whatever, not somebody's home, but this was like a nice home. Like, this was nicer than any, like, hotel she could stay in. It's this huge mansion. And here's what's interesting. I was on The Verge reading an article about this. This is not where I found the story, but I was reading up on it on The Verge. And it's funny because she actually got a pretty good deal on it, people are saying, because the house was estimated to be worth $50 million, which would mean that every month the mortgage would be
250. 50 million?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
expensive. Expensive. But look, Lucas, you have to look at the pictures. Just type it in, Beyonce $10,000 Airbnb. Type that in Google, and you'll see some of these pictures. It is beautiful. Actually, I'm going to send you the link, Lucas. Tell me this isn't worth $50 million. And the view is beautiful. You can see San Francisco. It's great. Anyways, so $50 million. Which would mean that the monthly mortgage would be around $250,000 a month, which would mean it's about $8,000 per day. So really, she's getting a pretty good deal. They're not ripping her off too much. She's only paying $2,000 more than what she would pay if she lived there.
Well, if it was for the Super Bowl, maybe the Super Bowl would have paid for it, right?
Yeah, who knows? Probably. Because let's be honest, $10,000 to the Super Bowl or to Beyonce is probably like a cent to us. So who cares? To them, $10,000 is nothing. They have so much money. $10,000, they could stay for that thing in a whole year for like the cost of like one of their commercial spots, one of their spots for like an ad or whatever. I think, I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, can you just, I can't even believe that.
I'm like, I would want to live here.
You would?
Like, this is awesome.
Of
Oh,
course.
it's got this that laser level pool thing.
What does that mean?
So it looks like the pool like continues.
Oh, like it's an infinity pool.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, you saw the pictures, huh? And the view's beautiful.
This is a nice place.
It's like kind of contemporary, so it's modern, but it's also like, you know, it's not too modern. It's contemporary. It's a good balance.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think we'd be talking about interior decor on this show. Wow. Yeah, so that's basically the lowdown on that. So that's all I have to say for Beyonce.
Okay, so I guess I should start talking about my part.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in a bit of a dilemma now. I've had what I'm using right now is 2012.
I think it was 2012, yeah.
I got in grade 8, so yeah, 2012. Yeah, so it's a 2012 Lenovo Z570. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, 750 gig hard drive. It's got, I believe it's a dual-core i5, clocked at 2.5 gigahertz. It came with Windows 7. I put Windows 10 on it. And, I mean, for the most part, it's served me like very well. It's lasted me a long time. But it's come to the point now where I need an upgrade. I mean, like the screen, like I hate looking at this screen. Battery life sucks. I can't take this anywhere. Like, it's plugged in right now, and it's been plugged in overnight, and it shows 95%.
Wow.
Yeah, so something's obviously messed up.
So, you want to get a new computer?
I want to get a new computer. No, it's going to be a Mac. I don't want to stay with Windows anymore. I just like using a Mac better.
You've switched to the dark side.
I want it for GarageBand mostly because I play guitar, and GarageBand is perfect for recording and making your own little beats and stuff like that. And it's even got a guitar
like
EQ
simulator kind of, or
yeah, it's got a it's got a guitar EQ on it, so you can add your own effects. It's called an FX board.
It also does have a guitar simulator, by the way.
Yeah.
You can like play guitar sounds using the keyboard on your computer. But who cares? You have a real guitar. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, so I got my audio interface here. I really good. It's a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. So I mean, all I need is GarageBand, right? So I'm 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 deciding between getting a 13-inch MacBook or a 21-inch iMac. Right now, here's why I want the iMac. Right, is because it's a stationary unit. It's not going anywhere. There's going to be no wires, which my mom will like.
Your
Right, and
mom would
I'm not
like
gonna,
that.
yeah, and I'm not gonna have things like all over the place, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to keep a nice clean setup, make sure that everything is good, and the Mac is really good for that.
Yeah,
Um,
like with my laptop now, I have it on like a cooling pad. I have the charger plugged into it. I have my cooling fan plugged into it. I have my VGA going out to my second mini monitor going out to it. I have my other wire going out to my interface, and then I have my headphones plugged in. It's just a lot of wires that like I'm seeing, right? And if I go with the Mac, I won't see all that because all the inputs are plugged in behind, and plus because the iMac is kind of elevated a bit, I can fit like my interface under it, so that gives me a little more desk space, and also give me desk space vertically, like so I'll have more depth to work with. My laptop it expands out like a good foot, right? And my desk is almost 2 feet, right? So it'll give me a
so,
lot that way.
so I have a question. How big is your laptop now? Because, like, I want to know, like, do you want something that's bigger? Do you want something that's
I
smaller?
have a 15 right now, but I think I'll be fine with a 13,
Yeah, honestly, it
right?
shouldn't be a problem
Mm-hmm.
unless you're going to be running like 5 million things at once.
Yeah. So I mean, now here's the downside of me getting a desktop is I can't take it anywhere. And if I want to go into college, right, a lot of the stuff is going to be like computer based. Like there's going to be some online stuff, right? And I'll probably just want to bring it just so I can type my notes on it and stuff like that, right? And I can't do that with an iMac, right?
Obviously, yeah, you're not going to
Like
lug a.
if I want to watch something in my room, you know, I mean on my bed, I can't do that because it's a stationary unit, right? But if I get the MacBook, I can bring it wherever I want, right? And I also got the freedom, my MacBook, I got the freedom of using an even bigger display. There, I can upgrade to a 27-inch, which I probably won't do, but I always have that option.
Exactly, and you can. So, the thing that I actually do with my MacBook is so obviously I use it sometimes just on its own, but I also have a desk with a keyboard and a mouse and a pair of speakers and a monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And I plug all those things into the computer and keep it charging, close the lid, and it's basically like almost like a desktop computer. Like that's what it feels like I'm using. And so the fact that you can use this computer when you're out, like I take it to school every day. Then I come home, I can plug it into my desk and almost have like a full desktop setup, but with all the same files and everything and all my applications and my settings how I want them. It's beautiful. I love having that, that ability to do that. And if you already have those peripherals, which I know you have monitor, keyboard, speakers, mouse, all that, I know you have that already, so I just think it'd be better for you to get a MacBook.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards the MacBook now.
Yeah, I mean, the desktop is nice for sure, but I think for the needs, like for what you're going to need it for, which is going to be school and other stuff like that, and just because it's convenient to be able to take it with you places, I think it'd just be a better decision for you.
Yeah, I mean, I still got a couple years, so I got a lot of time to think about it.
Wait, so you don't want to get it now, you want to get it like in a year and a half?
Yeah, like well, once I get my job and everything.
Yeah, so you want to get a job and then
Mm-hmm.
save up the money for it. Yeah. So yeah, you got enough time.
Like
But
I don't desperately need it. I mean, my computer still works fine, right? But I would want an upgrade in the future.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, it's never too early to think about this stuff because, you never know when you're going to need a new computer or whatever, so it's always good to think about this stuff before you think you even need to, so that way you're like prepared and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other story, is that everything we have to say? Like,
Yeah.
well, I don't think we talked enough about the pros of having a desktop computer. Pros of having a desktop, obviously, it's all in one. There's not a lot of wires, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Everything's all there. You don't have to worry about the speakers, the microphone, or I mean speakers, mic, camera, all that stuff is like built right in, and it's higher quality than a laptop. Like you get better quality speakers and stuff like that when you're at a desktop, you know?
I would still probably add my own, but
Yeah, but so especially if you were gonna add your own speakers and stuff like that, then it's probably just not worth it. But yeah, there's some people that for sure would want the desktop computer just because they need the more of the power, or it's just more useful to them. But honestly, for most people, I think a laptop is the way to go. And that's why there's been so much talk of desktop computers dying, is because people just have their laptops that are more than capable.
yeah.
Like, the problem was not so much the form factor of the laptop, but more the power of it. But now these things are getting so powerful that it's not really a problem anymore. So,
Like
the final
MacBook.
story. Okay, we have not talked about any Apple news yet, Lucas. Can you believe it? We've gone through 21 minutes, and we haven't talked about Apple news yet. Well, now that's the time when we start to talk about the Apple news. There hasn't been that much new information, and unfortunately, the news that I do have to talk about today is bad.
Bad.
Bad. Yep, really bad news. Well, as you can see from the title of this podcast, there's a fatal iPhone flaw.
What?
Yep. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this or not, but the iPhone has a fatal flaw to it. New. Okay, this is new. It's called iPhone Air 53. And basically what it is let's say my Touch ID home button breaks, okay? If I go get it fixed at a third-party repair shop, if they fix it, like if they fix my button and they don't use a official Apple licensed part, or even if it is like an official Touch ID button, but for some reason it doesn't, it doesn't jive well with the iPhone, it's not like verified properly, the whole iPhone becomes a brick.
Whoa.
It bricks the whole thing. So this has been affecting people with the iPhone 6. So they would take their phone in, they would, get the home button replaced, and the whole thing would shut down because it wasn't verified properly. And the reason that this was happening was because, and the reason Apple does this is because the Touch ID is something where you don't want your information to be compromised. I don't want anyone else to have my fingerprint, okay? I don't know about you, but I don't want people to have my fingerprint. And apparently they're scared that people are going to tamper with the fingerprint sensor, and then they would eventually get access to the Touch ID information in that secure enclave that is on the A8 chip that's found on the iPhone 6. And I believe also the iPhone 6S and the A9 chip. But I'm not 100% sure if this affects the 6S.
It's not really a flaw, it's just...
Wait, I can't... You're talking kind of like far away. What was that?
So it's not really a flaw, it's just Apple trying to protect its information?
Yeah, basically. So, well, Apple's trying to protect our information because, they don't want people to tamper with that stuff and access people's fingerprints. But the reason this is a flaw is because, you go get your phone replaced somewhere, or not replaced, sorry, you get the home button replaced somewhere, and you don't know if it's going to work or not. And the thing is, Apple's repairs are so expensive that it's going to make people want to go to these other repair shops. Right?
Oh, so it's like...
Nobody's going to want to go to Apple where they charge so much money. So they're going to want to go to, these third parties. Apple makes them want to do that. And so there's a company in, I think it's Seattle, that's actually filing a class action lawsuit against Apple because it's not fair how they're pushing, they're making their things so expensive, but now by doing this, it's forcing people to spend that money and go to them.
Really?
Yep.
Well, because the Touch ID is obviously like a patented technology, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they can't just let anyone, like mass produce it and then, you know, put it into other people's phones, right?
But the thing is, it's still a legit part. It's not that it's a fake part, it's just something about the way that it's verified once it goes into the phone. I'm pretty sure it's a legit part because, I mean, who else is making those same Touch ID sensors, right? No one. It's just like, it's kind of a whole mess of a situation. Basically, the way that the phones would be fine, and then people would update their phone, and then they'd have the issue. So they introduced this, I guess you could say, feature. They introduced this flaw, basically, in a software update, and once people updated, those phones that were maybe had the Touch IDs that were not being verified with the phone properly, they just shut the whole phone down.
That's stupid, though. I
Yeah,
don't
it
think
is
they should have
pretty
done
dumb. At least they could just disable
maybe.
the Touch ID, but not
Yeah,
the whole
at least.
broken phone. Like, don't break the whole thing, just disable the Touch ID. You know?
That's dumb. I'm sorry. Like,
It is. I don't know why I can't hear you that well.
no. Sorry about that.
What microphone are you using? What microphone are you using?
Using the one in my headset.
Okay, yeah, it sounds better now.
Okay.
I could hear like a feedback before, basically the whole time until now.
It's better now?
Yeah. Right when we've reached the end of the show, we finally fixed the issue. Isn't that ironic? Oh yeah, we finally fixed it, but we're done. Anyways, well, what do you... I mean, I want to hear your thoughts about the story, because I kind of interrupted you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I see, like, they shouldn't just shut down the entire phone. And what, like, I was reading up articles. It doesn't really shut it down, but it's like, it screws it up.
The phone?
Yeah, like, it doesn't turn on. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. It doesn't update. It becomes glitchy.
Yeah. So it seems like maybe sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, stuff like that. I don't know. I just feel like I get what Apple's trying to do. They're trying to secure the information, but don't do that by, breaking and affecting other parts of the phone. Like, for example, the whole phone turning on. That's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that's messed up. Like, I'm just like...
That's not fair. And that's why I understand why this company would be filing this law. Apple's done things like this in the past where they want people to get their things. Actually, an article gave a good example. They said, you can get your screen replaced from a lot of other places for around, $50 to $80. If you go to Apple to get your screen replaced on your phone, let's say you crack it or it's scratched, whatever, they're going to charge you like $129.
Do they replace it, or do they replace the whole phone?
No, they replace the screen only.
Oh.
So it's just like, what? Right. It's kind of like Apple's,
Yeah, I know, like...
they charge a high price for repairs, and then they're going to force people, like, they're going to get mad when people don't go to their repairs, and they're going to do stupid things like this. Well, maybe if you'd be, like, lower the cost of your repairs a little bit, people wouldn't be going to third parties. They'd be going directly to Apple. And it's not like Apple doesn't have the money to lower their costs of repairs a little bit.
I know.
We know they do, and I think it'd help them out because in the end, more people would end up going to them. Instead of going to these other places, which some of them are legit. Some of them do a good job. They use good, high-quality parts. But some poor people get their screens like ghetto. They're like ghetto screens, and it's like they're not official, they're not good quality, and those poor people don't know any better. They heard their friends say, oh yeah, go to this person in the mall, and they'll do it for, $50, sometimes even maybe $30.
Yeah.
And then the poor person has this cheap screen that's put on, if if Apple just lowered their costs a little bit, people would be maybe willing to spend a little bit more extra, but not that much more extra, you know? I mean, obviously, I know better, so I would always go to Apple first. I wouldn't get a third party at, you know? Even
Yeah.
the reputable ones, I don't know. I would rather go to Apple just because I want to be safe, but a lot of other people don't know that.
Well,
And this is not the
they
right way
probably
to
do
show
know
them.
that, but they look at it as like, oh, like, what's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah,
I can
well,
get
there
this
is a lot that can
for
happen.
30, $50, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, you try a new place.
Well, there is bad stuff that can happen, but it's not fair. It doesn't justify them that they're doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the end of the show.
It's come to the end.
Yeah, already. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Tech Time Podcast. Every time we have a new show, it automatically posts there. We record live on Spreaker.com/TechTime. That's Spreaker. You can listen live Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, around there. You can find us on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, all just by searching up Tech Time with Lucas and David or Tech Time Podcast. You can send in, messages like video messages and obviously written like instant messages on Skype. Our Skype is Tech Time Podcast. Just search it up. And the thing is, if you guys leave like video messages and stuff, we'll play them in the show. So like you can send us them and we'll play them in the show. So it'd be really cool to get like your questions or suggestions for things that you want us to talk about.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thanks so much for listening. My name is David.
I'm Lucas.
And yeah, thanks for listening to Tech Time. Have a good night or day or whenever you're watching. See you guys.